Touch one.
Touch off.
Touch one.
Touch off.
Fight back. Fist up.
Fight back.
One Africa.
One nation.
One nation.
One Africa.
Uhuru, that's what it's about. We want to welcome everyone here today at Aquaba Hall to the Sunday rallies that are sponsored to each and every Sunday by the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement that is under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party. We are live now, and we're live as we speak. We're coming from 4101 West Florissant, on the corner of West Florissant and Alice in the city of St. Louis. So if you are here and listening online, you got time to stop by. We'll be here from 3 to 5 p.m. Once again, the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement would like to welcome you. And if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement, you can go to InPDUM.org/today, find out more information. You can join at that site, or you can even donate and just learn a little bit more. You know, like we said, our community rallies are brought to you every Sunday, 3 to 5. You can also catch us online. You can catch the Burning Spear News YouTube channel and on Facebook. Today, the theme is how the Grinch stole Black St. Louis. Exposing Uhuru, exposing the NGA land grab and the city's deceptive gift wrapping. Empty gifts from the city include fraudulent redevelopment, staged city meetings, and phony initiatives. And we'll talk about some of that a little bit more in detail today. So it's been 7 months since the EF3 tornado has ripped through the city of St. Louis and left the west and north side of St. Louis devastated, and a majority of Black people in the cold. As we know, we're in the winter now, and there are still people who are living on the streets, most notably at the encampment that's on Cass and 10th Street. And most recently, the city of St. Louis, if you hadn't followed, you might have seen it. Most recently, the city of St. Louis, through Kara Spencer, had put out that they are raising $250,000 to help people, and they've received certain amount of funds already. So we'll see where that goes, okay? So this can be a difficult time, you know, during especially this holiday season, to have loved ones, you know, on the streets in the cold, literally in the cold. And we know that the city's response was shoddy at best. And we know that it was the African community, particularly on the west or north side, and we on the north side of St. Louis, who really hit the ground and deployed themselves against the wishes of the city hall officials who said don't self-deploy, but we weren't listening to that nonsense because we know that they weren't about to do anything. So we know that this holiday season is also centered around, you know, Christmas for the most part, mass, crass consumerism, get all your money, and then you go into debt, and you got to start the new year off worrying how you're going to pay down your credit cards and things of that nature because you've bought into the hype, crass consumerism. And we know that that's part of what capitalism is about. A somewhat new plan has been put forth by the St. Louis Development Corporation that threatens to continue to change the landscape of Black communities. The new plan for North City revitalization around the NGA, that is the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, is part of Project Connect initiative. That's the project. And so they most recently put out a 1,100-page document, and we'll be looking at some of that. The document that encompasses the areas that they're talking about, either, as they might say, redeveloping, revitalizing, or may just be pushing us out. These areas include, there's 6 of them: Carr Square, Columbus Square, Jeff Vanderloo, Hyde Park, Old North St. Louis, and St. Louis Place. These 6 heavily African populated communities with from 84 to 95% of the population being Black people, African people. And is this another Mill Creek Valley moment on the rise? We shall discuss that a little bit more in the rally. But before we go into that and have further discussion and the keynote address that will be presented by the local president of the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement, our comrade Westbrook, we will have everyone stand, and we will sing the African Nation Fight song. You'll find it on our screen. Yeah, we're all connected. And if you please stand and sing along. the African Nation fight song. Uhuru!
Africa, we are winning. Shout Uhuru for our freedom. We are winning. We'll dance and sing songs when revolution won. We are winning. Africa's best daughters and sons. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom through organization. Socialist world of creation. 1 billion strong, yes, we are one. We are winning. Red, black, and green for you and me. We are winning. Won't stop the fight till we are free. We are winning. African workers, we must unite. We are winning. Against white power, the parasite. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom through organization. Socialist world of creation. 1 billion strong, yes, we are one. We are winning. Viva Haiti, who first set us free. We are winning. Carry the torch of Jean-Jacques Dessalines. We are winning. Coup peut-être, tous les cailles. We are winning. We will rejoice when the colonizers die. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom through organization. Socialist world of creation. 1 billion strong, yes, we are one. We are winning. Fight like Fannie Lou and Malcolm too. We are winning. Remember our struggle, always be true. We are winning. From Harlem to Brazil to Tanzania. We are winning. We fight and live for free Africa. We are winning. Long live the liberation of our African nation. Freedom through organization. Socialist world of creation. 1 billion strong, yes, we are one. We are winning. Patrice Lumumba's life won't be in vain. We
Relate to Africa. Touch one. Touch one Africa. One nation. Oh, that's what it's about. So, comrades, of course, if you're not familiar with the term E's relate to E-Africa, and we say chants in our meetings, but it's basically it's saying Africa belongs to African people and African people belongs to Africa. It's a saying that comes out of the liberation struggle in occupied Azania, South Africa. So next on our program, we're going to have a little political education. It comes from the Revolutionary National Democratic Program of InPDUM. That is, once again, the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. This is Applied African International. This point will be brought to you today by our comrade Westbrook, who is also the local president of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, St. Louis branch. Give it up for our comrade.
Uhuru. So I want to appreciate each and every last one of you for showing up, blessing us with your presence. Uhuru, I see a couple of new faces, and I hope to soon be consistent faces. So let's give it a round of applause for these guys. Just a couple short house rules. The bathrooms is to our left, your right. 1, 2, yes, ma'am. And 1 like. Yes, ma'am. Okay, she looking okay. And please put your phones on silence or vibrate. Appreciate you. Now, like a comrade said, right now is the political education tool that will be brought to you by the RENDP. And today's point is number 9. Uhuru. As a colonized component of the dispersed African nation, Africans colonized in the U.S. are compelled to say to Africans and people of the world that the views and actions of the U.S. President Barack Obama are not representative of the views and interests and aspirations of African working class and the charter masses of Africans within the U.S. Uhuru. Once again, I want to read it again. As a colonized component of the dispersed African nation, Africans colonized in the U.S. are compelled to say to Africans and people of the world that the views and actions of the U.S. President Barack Obama are not representation of the views and interests and aspirations of the African working class and the charter masses of the Africans within the U.S. And I think it is very important for me to state that. I know a lot of us thought we had a friend in the White House when the first Black representation of us moved in their house. But 8 years later, we realized that it was just more of the same, white power and black face. But a lot of folks is looking at what Trump is doing in the Venezuela, well, across the world, but in particular in Venezuela, as far as the drum strikes, the boat drum strikes. But you know, he just really inherited this targeting program, this targeted assassin program from Barack Obama. It kind of was on an uptick. I mean, it's kind of was created or started during Bush, but Barack Obama, he made it his own. But folks looking at your Trump. Folks looking at your Trump with these deep mass deportations with ICE. But don't you know, under Barack Obama, it was a mass deportation. I think they say one of the most in American history. Folks got deported under Barack Obama. So I think Trump is trying to keep up or beat his record. But let us not forget that under Obama strikes, drone strikes. I'm talking about drone strikes in particular. Under Obama drone strikes, in particular, just Pakistan and Afghanistan, we know 1,680 drone strikes. 1,680. Now, if you break it down, the total deaths, 6,437 total deaths. Break it down some more. 816 of those deaths is civilians. Break it down some more. 101 of those civilians was children's. And this just Pakistan and Afghanistan, not including Sudan or the war on terrorism within Africa, not including all the strikes, just those two countries. We know news came out 2013 as far as the Yemen strike and the drone strike in Yemen that killed the wedding convoy that they mistaken for militants. They claim they mistaken it. But civilians, innocent civilians. Innocent civilians. You know, in 2016, Obama released documents including the playbook detailing policies and acknowledging unattended deaths of hostages and civilians.
They didn't mean to kill them.
That's what they claim. You know? So, once again, as a colonized component of the dispersed African nation, African colonized in the U.S. are compelled to say to Africans and the people around the world that the views and the action of the U.S. President Barack Obama is not representative of our views, interests, and aspirations of the African working class and charting masses of the Africans within the U.S. We don't unite with the massacre of civilians. We do not.
Right.
But I speak. A lot of folks say Barack Obama. Why are you picking on him? That's so many because it goes into a lot of folks want to point at the Republicans, what they doing, the Trump administration, what they doing. It's the whole damn system. Republicans are Democrats.
Right.
All of them murderers.
Yep.
All of them is there. Don't care if it's white power and blackface or just pure strictly white power. It's there to keep the status quo. There to keep the status quo. And speaking of these drones program, guess who control most of them the GPS signals or audience or NGA, what we be about to be speaking about shortly. So with that being said, I want to end it on that note and open it up for discussion. Uhuru?
Uhuru.
Stop!
Fight back.
Fight
Did
back.
you have something, comrade? Come, please come. And if you have anything to say, you come to the microphone or any input or questions.
I just want to say, regardless to who holds the house or moves into the jailhouse, the same program has been passed down for centuries and hundreds of years. So you just got a different figurehead pulling it forward. And regardless to how they show it or how they do it, they are not the power. It's the power of the program that keeps it rolling. So in the program is to keep African people and all other people under the thumb and the power of the machine.
Yeah.
And the more people that resist around the world becomes the target of resistance, becomes the target of
Imperialist aggression.
yeah. So all I can say is keep resisting, because you know what? Revolution in our lifetime.
Fist up, fight back. That's what you see across the world with what she just said. There are more comments, questions, input. We have another one coming to the right here.
Uhuru, I just wanted to appreciate the political education for today, and to unite with what my comrade Folky just said, that it doesn't matter. We're using Barack Obama in this instance, because obviously at the time, he was the
Head nigger on charge.
yes,
Yeah.
HNIC. Okay. And it doesn't matter whether it's Democrats or Republicans, as you said, whether it's Trump. It's not a system that's designed for us. And it was just so, I can remember when Barack Obama won, okay? And I remember watching all of the faces of crying Africans everywhere. They were so elated. I was crying too, but I was crying for a different reason. I was like, I can't believe what's happening. How is everybody so excited? And it is just apparent now, and it's, I want to say it's unfortunate, but it's not. It's just that they, teach us. And when we were taught, most Africans were taught to be, Democrats.
Yeah.
We're taught that this is, you got to choose one side or the other, because they don't educate us to the fact that neither side is for us. It's just that they have, indoctrinated us to this system so much that we didn't know how to resist. And now people are saying, well, it's odd because Africans are now starting to say that, well, or realize that Barack Obama, as the president of the United States, if he were truly in the interest of the African working class, there are a lot of things that he could have done. Because Trump ain't biting his tongue on nothing, and he doing anything and everything that he wants to do. So, but the power is in the people, and we're the ones that have to. The working class are the ones that have to overturn the system. So again, I want to appreciate the PD.
Uhuru.
Uhuru, everyone. Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. It's a greeting of ours. It's a goodbye. It's everything. We say Uhuru because we believe that freedom should be on the minds of African people 24 hours a day. And I also want to unite with the political education, the PE. I think even the development of the Revolutionary National Democratic Program, one of the points we just reviewed, that was developed around the time of the Obama election. And so, African people all over the place, here in the US and all over the world, we're seeing Barack Obama as one of us, of a voice for us and things like that.
Yep.
But never once did he ever say feed, clothe, and house my people.
Nope.
Never
Right.
once. And it's not just Obama.
Yep.
All the black politicians
Yep.
here in the US, all the black administrators here in the US, they never, ever, ever, ever from their mouth will say feed, clothe, and house my people. And so we have to have a program created by ourselves in our own interests and things that speaks to our conditions and addresses our conditions and things like that. And that's what the Revolutionary National Democratic Program works to do. Because in that program, you'll read about the fact that we need this housing contradiction overturned.
Yeah.
Gentrification has to be reversed.
Yeah.
Economic development has to be in the community, and we need to overturn this constant public policy of police containment of our people. That needs to be overturned to a public policy of economic development. Bring resources in, and I know we'll be talking about a lot about that, but we need to have our own plan. I know that one of the things I'm super excited for coming this summer is the Black Community Convention. We'll be working here in St. Louis for a month long with forces here in St. Louis, as well as forces coming, all throughout the country, coming to St. Louis, working to develop a Black community agenda. This is an agenda of our own. And yeah, we say power in our own hands, but we also say the future must be in our own hands. Anyways, Uhuru, I know a lot more can be said.
Uhuru. And there's a lot more that will be said and can be said. So any other comments or questions, inputs? All right. So if there are none other at this time, Comrade, did you have anything else to add? No? All right, good. We're going to go ahead and move forward with the program. And next up, we're going to have culture. We're going to have a couple of aspects of culture today. One, we're going to have our comrade Makeda who will give us a poem, and then we're going to have our comrade Fofi, who will read a passage out of her latest book. So Uhuru.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
This is my everyday stuff. You know what's funny? In this climate, in this social climate, I don't pay attention. Look, it's cold. I don't care. I bought it. I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah.
And again, I don't care. So, yeah, I don't even think about it. And then sometimes when I catch people looking at it, I'll be like, that's what you looking at.
Yeah.
I went out the other day with face paint on and I forgot I had face paint on. I'm like, why are these people looking at me like that? It takes something to, when you make it your everyday, it's something different. But thank you, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
This piece is called Africans Will Unite. Good. Yeah. Okay. Africans will unite. Not just in slogans, not just in songs, but in spirit, in purpose, and in action. We are rising into clarity now. The veils are lifting. We see the threads of division stitched with colonial hands, soaked in centuries of falsehood in our blood, and we are unraveling them, one truth at a time. Our languages, once weaponized to separate us, are now bridges we use for understanding one another. Our borders, once carved to cage us, are becoming lines we delegitimize and transcend. Our stories, once buried or rewritten, are being reclaimed in our own tongues with our own breaths. Africans are learning, no longer through the lens of conquest, but through ancestral wisdom, science, strategy, and shared struggle. We are seeing the plays of the puppeteers, divide by tribe, pit kin against kin, sell lies as legacy, but no more. We recognize now the tricks, the false maps, the installed leaders, the hijacked narratives, the looted precious resources, underdevelopment, the manufactured poverty. We are no longer dazzled by foreign validation. We are no longer tricked by mirrors that distort our greatness. Exceptionalism's no longer necessary when you recognize that you are the rule. The youth are stirring with fire in their eyes, and the elders are whispering the way back home. Farmers, coders, healers, warriors, midwives, architects, the lot of them. We are building the new together. From Accra to Addis Ababa, Soweto to Mogadishu, the drumbeat of unity is finally louder than colonial fear. And you can believe Africa will not be saved. Africa will not be fixed. Africa is not broken. Africa is returning to herself. We will unite, not because we must, but because it is written, decreed in our bones. We are the first, and we could never remain the last. We are not waiting to be invited to the table. We are building a new one, and it will be round and rooted and ours, because Africa will unite. Uhuru.
Uhuru. I am Fofi Ushairi El Kibulon, and I have a book You probably heard me talk about it. It's called Uplifted from the Fifth. And today, 24 hours, it will be played on a jumbo screen over Pele's store in New York Central Square between 43rd and 44th Street. And my daughter-in-law was smart enough to get a cam, one of the cameras, and she took pictures of it for me. So I'm happy for that. I'm gonna read half of the poem and tell you the fable. The book is constructed with a poem, personal poetry, and a fable to explain the sense of the poem. Because if I wrote you a poem, somebody else may not understand it. So this is a outline of the poem. This one is called When I Was Steve. When I was Steve, a bundle of joy, fat face and healthy baby boy. The newspaper article said about me, awaiting a loving home, this happy baby. The family I have has taken good care of me. They're proud of the man I've grown to be. A feeling of look not like the ones I know, blood ties just didn't seem to show. Now I search for the one who gave me birth, the one from my 9 months love at me first. A hug, a kiss, to see your face, to experience my first mother's embrace. That's part of the first poem. It's called the poem. Now, the fable is part of the fable. Can't give you all of the goodies at one time. To know who's on the other end of the umbilical cord before it's cut is a profound truth. A child is loved even before drawing the first breath. The bond is unbreakable, woven by nature and sustained by spirit. This is to the fable is to say that people who give up children, people who accept children through adoption, or however you acquire this child that you didn't give birth to, is because that's what is needed for that child to grow into who they're supposed to be. The African fable about the spirit of a child pickets the parents before they're born because they know what lesson they have to do here on earth. So that parent that created that child may not be the one that raised them, but the child is who he's with or she's with to be the person they want to be. Even though they'll continue to wonder about who's my mother, where's my mother, do I have brothers or sisters? That's something that they have to work with and they have to work through. And the parents that raise that child and love that child must know, give that child the space to be whole and to find those questions and answers, and whatever they turn out to have, it's what it's supposed to be. The main thing in this fable I want to say is that they're not weird, they're not crazy, they just want answers. Just like African people want answers to our lineage because we were stolen before we knew we were born. I can't go back and say that's my cousin over there or that's my aunt over there if they're 4, 5, 6 generations that have passed because we were stolen from our land. And I am a stolen African woman born on stolen indigenous land.
Okay.
And this book is just a segue from my journey from the spiritualist church to the African nation, because this is my purpose, to be free and to find freedom for all Africans. Like I say, this book is a spiritual growth, but it's still an African book.
Okay.
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Oh,
One for all.
I forgot. My daughter-in-law took that picture of the Times Square billboard. And that's happening today, 20 after every hour till midnight. But on Saturday, between 12 and 2, I will be doing a book signing at Legacy Books and Cafe. Is it up there yet? Okay. At Legacy Books and Cafe. It is a free admission. Come on in, and we'll have a panel of owners Zine Yeshatella, Makeda Baraka, and Tumpe, Neil Tumpe will be discussing the book. And Miss Carol will be also speaking that day. So the book is $20 for the hardback, $15 for the softback if you get it from me. Or you can go to Amazon and I'll sign every book you have. Thank you.
That's my comrade right there.
Yeah, so so if y'all leave, you got that announcement. So you won't have to do it no more. Now, I want to recognize Fofid also for being the second president in the city of St. Louis of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. Well, the first one was the other lady, but she stepped down. That she had to.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I understand. So I got the history. And so you the second, but you know, being one of the African women that lead, and Makeda also being one of the first pioneers of InPDUM inside of the city of St. Louis. So we got our veteran presence and African women must lead. And that's a continuation of what we saw last week as our theme was. So it's just throughout the. So next up, we're going to have, and I'm sorry, I'm remiss, everybody. First of all, I should have said this earlier. We want to recognize the founder and leader of the Uhuru Movement and the African People's Socialist Party. Without this, things couldn't be done. And that's Chairman Omali Yeshatella. He's been on the front line of this struggle. He's been on the front line of this struggle for several years, and has developed throughout this time frame. And we also want to praise, you know, we got this heat going, but this is in Aquaba Hall, and Aquaba means welcome. And we know that this was done under the leadership of out of the office of Zine Yeshatella, who leads the Office for Economic Development. And so we want to give that up for her as well and recognize that leadership. That's owner Zine Yeshatella, who is the deputy chair and who leads all the economic work for the party throughout. So next up, we're going to have outreach report. And so this is another opportunity to recognize the recent installed new leader of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, the international president, who is none other than Emmanuel Lucade Baku.
Uhuru, comrades, sisters, and brothers. Okay. My name is Lucade. And I'm so glad to see you all here today. So I will be giving a report on outreach that was done. And we had a couple this Friday. Last Friday, we went to a poetry event. It was also, well, it was a open mic night that had poetry and some other things. And theme was on Kwanzaa. This was over at Next Time Cafe, right on. And there we had passed out over 40 of the Sunday rally flyers. We distributed 3 spears. 2 of them were sold. One of them was a donation, and had one contact, which is great. It was my first time in that environment, and so it was a little loud, and so that's yeah, a little. No, it was pretty loud. It was a loud joint. It was heavy though. You know, it was packed. And you know, there's a wide variety of people from youth to the elderly. And definitely next time we'll make sure to do outreach way before so it doesn't get, you know, loud and things like that or after. But yeah, there's that. On the 20th, yesterday, we had our another pie campaign over at Sular Market.
we had sold 5 spears. Also had distributed 36 Sunday rally flyers and got 1 contact. And I think these 2 contacts were pretty significant because they both developed, can contribute to economic development work. One does work around child development and as well as food development, which is significant because of the community garden that we have and the future Uhuru, what's it called, Shambhala?
Yeah.
Yeah, a Freedom Farm.
Right.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's down the street. That we'll be working on, and the other trains people on like how to get their catering license and everything like that, which is significant. But yeah, the responses from people were really well. They were really well. Especially the youth, and I want to make sure we tackle and interact with the youth more and more because they're really responsive. Everyone who are we having a pie report or report from yesterday's pie campaign later on? Yeah. Okay.
Well, he can mention
Yeah.
it on the announcement, he can mention.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Anyways, folks love the pies. Folks said everyone was in unity and supported. I know that there was a lot of donations given as well, which is significant. And they're really appreciative of the work that we do. Anyways, Uhuru, and we do. There are more Sunday Rally flyers in the back with Comrade Sister Carol, along with some of the annual flyers for the people's clothing exchange. Please do take some with you and pass this along in the community and things like that. This is a community meeting. This is a meeting for the community. Yeah, everyone's welcome. Anyways, Uhuru.
Uhuru. One Africa,
One nation.
one nation, touch one. Uhuru. Thank you, President, for that report. And those reports are significant to have because they are an example of what we call applied African internationalism. That means that you're not only dealing with theories, you're dealing with practice. Did you have something else you're trying to say?
I know.
Oh, some other folks who went,
And
anybody else who did the outreach, if you'd like to weigh in on some of your experience about that, we do have some minutes. We're still within the time frame. Okay. Okay.
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
This is an event that is every third Friday at Next Time Cafe. I don't have the address. But, and it's off of West Florissant, right before you get to 270, not far from Sam's and Walmart. It is a cultural event. It is done by the Missouri chapter of Poetry Business Network. Gregory and myself are founding members.
Okay, now.
And it is to promote poets into building their poetry, not as just something to do, but as a business. That's like when you love what you do, it's not work. So that's what this is about. We're bringing more information to people that really wants to work on their craft, not just poetry, singing, artistic work, craft, everything you do really is a art.
Mhm.
And with Melanin, we built on creativity. So make what you do your business. And that way you will be not only promoting yourself, you'll be promoting all African people, whether you know it or not. Okay? But this event is every third Friday, starting at 6 to 6:30 and it lasts till about 9. And what we did this time was it was an emphasis on Kwanzaa and understanding and the principles. So Comrade Makeda, Gregory was present, Makeda and I performed. It's nice. It's a good event.
Uhuru, that's what's up.
We also had a couple of opportunities to do some outreach. Last night, what I could do was on the east side, a lot of times we have the misconception that the east side is way over there on the other side of the river. And but it's where African people are, and we're all a part of that same unity. Now, Sister Fofi like to say, when you just have a finger, you can do a little bit, but when you take all those individuals and put it into a fist,
Yeah.
you can do much. And we have done much. I don't want folks to think that the struggles that we're involved in are not manifest in material things, because they are. The fact that we celebrate Kwanzaa and Juneteenth is because, some nation put us on a calendar. It's because we as individuals in our homes, in our communities, started celebrating ourselves. Through Kwanzaa, through Juneteenth, and there is nothing that stops us from creating a much wider presentation. Second event that I had a chance to be involved in was with UAPO in their book distribution to Gambia. And a little later in the program, we'll have a chance to hear from one of the sisters that is instrumental in working with Gambia and African people in the United States, with African people on the continent. And not just, yes, sir, not just working together to for good feeling, but to move those feelings into a manufacturing place. We can create and build, and as we have done in the past, we can do in the future. So we had an opportunity to do those two events again with Brother Lakadu, and we were able to pass out several flyers. We had an opportunity for a new brother that's visiting us at the announcements. I'm gonna ask him to introduce himself. He came to us as a result of someone doing outreach on the phone. So all of our efforts,
What you think?
over these
That's what's
17, 18 years where Brother O'Malley formed the Black is Back, we're starting to see seeds of that. UATO and Uhuru here, OBS is a spinoff, 16, 15 other organizations around the country. We are winning.
We are winning. So want to appreciate Brother Lackadoo for helping leading us. That's wrong. I'm so sorry. That's a look at that. Just being African, back in the day, we'd flame on each other like ain't nothing. So, it is what it is. So next up, comrades, I just want to appreciate all that report and all the work that went into it, the energy, the fruits of the labor that we're talking about. And can you just imagine, put it in your mind, if this was going on 7 days a week, and even if you just got one contact a day, so at the end of the week, you got 7 contacts. If you sold 3 spirits a day, at the end of the week, you got 21 spirits. So you put it in the concept of block by block building, if you will, and then you can see what can be accomplished. It's nothing that we can't do as a people, and I think everybody has led to it. The poetry from Akeda, the reading from Comrade Fofi, the work that Luca there just said, what Comrade Westbrook just talked about. There is a certain synergy and unity there that's going throughout that theme. So right up now, we're going to bring our keynote speaker, who is going to talk about, in a general sense, he's going to talk about a lot of things different, but he's going to talk about what this so-called development that the St. Louis Development Corporation has put together in conjunction with the Connect initiative. And we know that we said that there's a plan to do some type of development in 6 African neighborhoods with, on average, a population of about 2,200. Small communities, but it's about 2,200 people. And we're going to see what the possibilities are, but we know that this could smell and reek of what Mill Creek Valley was in the 1950s and all the erasure type of activities that have occurred and affected our community particularly. Comrade Westbrook, Uhuru.
Uhuru, want to appreciate that. Once again, Comrade Westbrook, president of the local InPDUM. I want to salute my leadership, Amalia Shatella, Chairman Amalia Shatella, DC, owner Yesatella, NDO, Chimaranga, Kumbula, Midwest Rep. Last but not least, our international president, Luca Day, Uhuru. So I want to appreciate that. I want to talk a little bit briefly first on how we got here. But before that, how many of us, by ways of hands, is familiar with NGA? Familiar with the NGA? Okay, about a round of hands, it's nodding the heads. I think most of us is familiar with the National Geospatial Intelligence Agencies. You know, to spell it on out, this military and intelligent agency, to be frank, no matter how you spell it. But we know that this discussion or this plan was put forth way back 15, 16, you know, with the NGA wanted to build its facilities, a complex. We know the NGA have two of this complex, and we are Uhuru. They got two of these facilities in America. One of them being here in St. Louis. It was on the south side for a while, a smaller complex. But then you know, the multiple drone strikes, the multiple intelligence collectors, they needed to expand their complex. So it was a bid going on in this region to try to get their expansion, you know. And it's around this time, your Slay was already put money to the pot and started to come up with different plans on how to steal land to offer to NGA. You know, within this region, it was many different areas within the region, but at the top of the list, two was more the most I guess prominent picks. One of them being in Scott Air Force Base, and next to Scott Air Force Base, shall I say. It was a cornfield, 400 acres of cornfield next to a military base. Now, everybody across, this not a regional thing, this is a national, international thing. Everybody nationally thought that was the best pick. You know, a military / intelligence agency was best for it to be housed next to a military base, so it could be protected, etc. So 400 acres of cornfield was offered to them, you know, but your Slay won that bid by stealing 99 acres of land. Not only stealing 99 acres of land, but giving them a 25 years plus tax abatement on this land. But not only 25 plus years of tax abatement, but $1.7 billion of the people money to build on this land. But that's just to build a complex. They ain't talk about the hundreds of millions of dollars that they spend to buy the people up off this land. So hundreds of millions of dollars, the swindler folks, some of them get it. Eminent domain got some of them. But 99 acres, this is what your mayor did to snatch up the black community for a military intelligence agency. And I don't know how, by pure numbers, 99 acres bid of free land, mind you, can outbid 400 acres of free land. So it all goes to part of urban renewal. Urban renewal. NGA $1.7 billion facility. We know that obviously because of the buyouts and the building of Jefferson class, Jefferson and Cass, obviously they won that bid. They just opened up a couple months ago. You know what I'm talking about? But briefly, since I mentioned NGA, just a little brief history about that. You know, if you're not familiar, going on this last year or so, some areas started later than others. Some started before. Um, this particular well, I think I got it written down. Make a long story short, NGA just put out a proposal. The area around NGA just put out a proposal, a plan that includes 6 different areas. But that was not the only spot doing this planning, if you will. Across St. Louis, we've been doing that planning. I've been part of that planning advisory group, Plan STL. And for Baden and Ward, matter of fact, can we show some of the pictures? Can we show them pictures? Kumbula. For the last past year, we've been going. Kumbula, if you there. But anyway, make a long story short, this last year we've been in this planning process, and for Baden and North Point, we just wrapped up our planning process and doing the final drafts. And we have not released it yet. But NGA, because of where their circling area, because they started a process. Okay, but before I go in depth, let me hurry up and read this planning process that's been going on for the last year. Plan STL is the City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Initiative that empower the residents to collaborate with city governments and planning, consulting, and shaping the future of their neighborhoods. Through the professional guidance, community members actively participate in meetings, workshops, and other activities to develop comprehensive neighborhood plans. These plans will address standard topics such as housing, economic development, and transportation, while interweaving themes of concern that impact each neighborhood community. And then they go down, what is the neighborhood plan? Okay, but this particular thing has been going on all year. Well, like I said, in the areas, those 6 wards around NGA just put out theirs, and we gotta look at these things. But Kumbula, show the second picture. Well, okay, these are some of the things, the core topics, economic development. I just spoke of some of the things, Uhuru. And you can go to the pictures. Okay, there's some of the planning meetings and stuff. You can see me at the top. Hey, listen, I didn't know they caught me, and this is not that they newspaper. I didn't know they caught me. It was a particular thing that was very Christian, and I was one of the spoken ambassadors, and then I was speaking about it and pointing out the contradiction, not knowing they captured me doing that. But yes, you know, you already have a voice represented by InPDUM, the Uhuru movement. But these type of meetings have been going on within the 14 wards all across the city, right?
Yeah.
Why have these meetings been going on? Well, we know back in 2020, was the last census, or thereabout, the last census. We know that every decade, automatically the census kicked in. Based on the increase or decrease of the community, they turn around and redraw districts. Now, in this case, a lot of times politicians try to gerrymander certain districts to add more votes in Congress. You know, we could see that in Texas district with our very own Jasmine Cochran from St. Louis. They rejoined that district in Texas. Right now in Kansas City, they rejoined the district on the west side, the 4th district. And it's kind of funny. This is how they cut off representation. And the 4th district on the west side of Kansas City was predominantly black. They mixed it, or they split it down line, and they mixed it, half of their ward, with a rural filter district. A rural filter district that cut off a lot of the voice of the representation. But that goes on during the redistricting or redrawing of the district. But like I said, every decade after the census, based on if it's a reduction or increase, they reduce the districts. Now, based on your favorite scam artist, James Clark. First started when he was a vice president of Better Family, but I think he moved on to Urban League. But under him, he helped contribute to the mass migration of black folks up out of the city. They want to tell you it was crime while black folks left. Well, some of it was because it was of crime, but the other aspect of it, you know, he had this repatriate addict thing. I think I'm butchering the name, but if you have an issue with your neighbor, this is how he solve it. They pay you to move out of town. Don't have no black on black violence. I understand that aspect, but the only way you solve that is move black community out of St. Louis. They've been trying to push us out forever, but they use him as a key to do that. And he going around shopping and testifying how successful and how many people, black bodies, that they move up out of the city. Now, I don't know how many of that 33,000 of that, as far as folks is left, but 33,000 people left the city. 33,000. So because of that, it justified them moving against the wards. And we know in 16, 17, like I said, they in 15, 16, they started this conversation. Once we knew what they was doing, we in 18, 19 started the fight, keep 28. Keep 28. It's 28 wards. And we know that it's harder for us to get representation as it is. But if you shrink the ward, therefore enlarge the ward, it's definitely going to be hard for us to seek representation or even get our name out there if we want to, campaign and change the issues in our neighborhood. But make a long story short, after the wards reduction, then they turn around and says, well, now it just and all these phases automatic kick in place, you know. Then it justified the urban renewal. The urban renewal. Our comrade spoke earlier about, could this be another Mills Creek Valley? On our watch? Not on my watch. That's why you gotta stay in tune to what's going on in your community. And not necessarily all what they say on the news. I don't care that much for Donald Trump, but he is right about fake news. That's propaganda. You can't be satisfied of believing in news and news only. You gotta go out and search more. That's why we offer political education. Uhuru. But this urban renewal, that it kicks in that kicks in. Now, before urban, they can't snap a finger and urban renewal or redevelopment happen automatic. So what happened before the urban renewal? The planning phases. The planning phases. So over this last year, we've been planning, and I've been voicing opinions, not only for my ward, because we got a peer review on what's going on in many different wards, and I've been voicing my opinion as far as what we've been saying earlier, as far as community control, etc. As far as St. Louis stand black and no gentrification. But we know that this planning process that we've been going through, and I keep mentioning, I did get kicked out one of the meetings because it was one of those, this is the people we're talking about. But this planning process that's been going on through the year put me in mind of the RAND Corporation and the Team 4 plan when the urban renewal of the decades of the 70s, 80s came about, and they went through their planning process. And what they said then is damn near mirrored on what some of these, what's coming out of some of these planning meetings. But hey, Kumbula, you can put up that other verbiage or these just some of the things that came out with this plan that the NGA just put out. But mind you, they was one of the first ones that got started. So they was one of the first ones that put theirs out. But once our drafts and the other wards, different wards get done with their draft, be looking that the news gonna bring forth those different drafts, you know. But we know that ambassadors and community leaders that was on those adjacent boards to the NGA, some of them was puppets. Some of them was puppets. Some of the things that they offered for the those vacant buildings was things that come out of the white community. You know, dog parks and facilities, what you call that? The handball thing. Not tennis, not tennis.
You got pickleball now.
You know what I'm talking about? But these will be accommodations, not for the people, but for the NGA. For the NGA. You know, so unfortunately, we are at a stage where the planning process is over, and now we for to see a urban renewal. We got this up there? Okay, so this is just a little bit about some of the data that they gathered within that area. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I just love how you could go to another one. This 1,900 people, the square mileage. This is some of the data. The pretty paperwork, the pretty nothings, I call it. It's nothings for real. There's distractions that they spent a lot of money on. I think we got another page. This is the okay. Now, well, the colors is just different breakdown of different races. You know, I wish I had my glasses. We know the black is the majority of the 14.9% is black. But make a long story short, that ain't necessarily. I mean, and if you want, I could try, but that's not necessarily important for me to explain. That's why I ain't necessarily got it up there. I just want you to see the distraction, the bull crap that they put up there. Because they want you and I to think that these meetings is supposed to be transparent, or these meetings is supposed to be conclusive. I mean, inclusive for the people, the communities that have a voice. But this verbiage that you see, ain't none of us created this verbiage. It's something that they put in front of us and asked us to help critique that. So that was one of the main struggles that I had for our residents, that I kept rejecting the stuff they put in front of us and asking people, let's create our own. But we have to have an understanding of what's going on in our communities. Number one. Number two, we have to keep touching, like our Congress said, keep touching the people with outreach, with political education, with spirit sales, with study on stoop. So these folks could be familiarized with what's going on, because if they not, they just gonna be okay. St. Louis for it be looking good. Now this stuff started, the project started 2030 and it's supposed to be completed in 2050. But folks gonna be excited, this, that, another, but excited for what? Excited for who playing? Because if we don't give no never mind to the details, it might be another Mills Creek. Uhuru. Open up for discussion.
Fight.
One Africa,
One nation.
one nation,
One
Africa.
Uhuru, that's what it's about. So I appreciate that presentation, Comrade Westbrook, and that information. So I'm gonna just say it like this. That plan is gonna be in effect. That plan is already in effect. It's just a continuation of a lot of plans that they've had in the city of St. Louis. This is just a continuation. Now, of course, we have to have some type of fight back about it and be at the table like a comrade is at the table. So we gotta be clear. But the thing that, and I'm glad, so to kind of answer your question though, what you saw was the breakdown, and Conrad did mention it. He mentioned the fact that those were demographics. Those are true demographics. The numbers can be off, but there are 6 areas. They told on average it's about 2,200. The first one that he showed was in Carr Square. That was like 1,900 people living there. But these are majority African communities. You have the Hyde Park right over here. That's not far from here. You have Old St. Louis, Old North Side, Old North St. Louis over this, actually just back east of us, and then you veer to the south, and you'll see where those communities are. Each one of these communities, they are about 2,000 people that live in them, and they are about 90% African people. They are all going to be affected. And we didn't talk about it, but it's up there because I got the document. Now it's 1100 pages, so it's a lot to read. So you got to go through it meticulously. But it's actually a quick read to trip off of because a lot of it is just graphic and they break it down in such a way. But in each one of these areas, they talk about they got different pictures that they show you. Each community has at least one school that's been demolished or it's torn down or won't be there anymore. So education is already gone. Interestingly enough, in one of the breakdowns of one of those clips, I forget which community it was. It may be Columbus Square, but I'm not sure. But the point that they made was in 1971, they started to see the decline of the particular areas. And so we know what happened, we just mentioned it. In 1971, the Rand Corporation wrote the Team 4 plan. It was published in 1972, already in progress. So even though this is these are just graphics and they say draft on there, it's a big draft. This is actually what they're planning to do, and this is actually what they will do. And you made a joke of, yeah, they want to bring the nice little gateway, the greenery and things, and like, yeah, it's all fine and dandy, sweet, and you have a trail here and there. And they're talking about connecting those types of roads and those types of paths on Grand from where that location back, take it up to Grand. But they're also talking about clearing out neighborhoods. They're also talking about getting ready a lot of houses stock that is already there, and they've already let it rot. So what's going to happen next? Uhuru.
Uhuru, to our tech, I would ask if you click on the link that says project, it actually has in there some of the maps and it actually shows the areas. A few weeks ago, I attended one of these planning launch meetings. And I don't know how many of you attended any of the town hall meetings after the tornado, but just how I don't know, it's fake. I guess that's really the word you use. They don't make any sense. They bring people there under false pretenses to try to get them hyped up. And all of these planning meetings, this launch, all of this is still feeding into the Team 4. The mayor, out of her mouth, said at one of these town hall meetings that the May 16th tornado was serendipitous. I encourage anybody in this room right now, look up what serendipity means.
What do you mean?
Look it up.
I know it.
What does it mean?
Out of the blue, it happened.
Okay.
It's a happy coincidence.
Exactly. So what this has done the tornado has pushed everything forward.
Right.
Everything forward. Out of the blue, something happened. They didn't have to work at really trying to continue to just let the neighborhood rot and people just start moving out, on their own, buildings start collapsing. They didn't have to code violate people, none of that. The tornado happened, destroyed over 5,000 properties, people that are still in the process of trying to repair, and the plan is moving forward. Now, isn't it amazing that they couldn't give away any money? They don't have any money for the community, for the people to repair, but they have money for these initiatives. Now you're gonna have beautiful communities and then ask you to buy into the hype that this is for you. That you're part of the plan. Look, see, we invited you to the meeting. You got the opportunity to say what you wanted to say, what you wanted to see in your community. When in actuality, all of this, the tornado just helped push the plan forward. And they want us to believe that it is for us. That's why I think it's important that the work that the African People's Education and Defense Fund, the Black Power Blueprint, has been able to put down on this corridor here on West Florissant, or almost out all the way to Grand now. That's important that we support these community initiatives, not the ones that the city is offering us because they're shallow. And if you've gone to any of these meetings, did anyone really value your input? Did anyone really say to you, what is your particular situation? What is it that you need? What do, not just collective, what we want to see the community, because they already have plants there that they've already, that are supporting the projects. And that was the thing that was so obvious in this last meeting. So I want to encourage everyone and appreciate, our comrade, Westbrook being able to participate in this process and actually being at the meetings, and really encourage everyone that's here to get involved. One, in the work of the African People's Education and Defense Fund and the Black Power Blueprint, because we've begun to lay the foundation for to seize, the land and the territory back for the community. This isn't for a particular person, it's for the community. And if we allow them to continue with pushing forward this initiative, in fact, over 2,000 FBI agents will be in the city of St. Louis by the time this NGA project is completed. Where are they gonna live?
Next door.
Right. Might be right living next door to you. I mean, that's for real. Okay? They're gonna bring family, that somebody gonna say, well, maybe mama, you need to come and live here too. You see what I'm saying?
Cost of living is cheaper. Come
And
on
these
back.
are people that are gonna have incomes of what, 60, 70, $100,000 a year. What did you say they're gonna call the Pentagon of the Pentagon of the West? You know what that means? That means that this city also too becomes a target one, okay, for the world. The Spice Center, this Spice Center is not a little thing, and I'm not sure how people understand it, is that it's not just, some buildings are gonna put up with some government people that's gonna be in it. We're talking about for the world, a surveillance center that controls bombs, drones, controls death for the whole entire world. For the world. And these are the people that they're trying to bring into this community. And all these plans are for those people. Let's face it, the predominance of them are gonna be white. They're gonna be white people. And that's gonna continue to push this community out. So I'm encouraging everyone, when you see these meetings, these launch meetings in phase 2, because this was the beginning phase, they said, but it's obvious that if the next meeting is in February, where they're talking about going to the next phase, that means this plan has already been in effect. It's already been in effect. Because I think the Spy Center is slated to open in 2026. I mean, the NGA Center.
Well, officially, it opened a couple months ago, officially. But for the grand slam, yeah, it will be. I guess to open up the complex for the mass
Influx of agents, people with high credentialed intelligence levels. Okay, this means you ain't gonna hardly be able to spit on the sidewalk in your own community, let alone walk. And everything that's gonna be built in the city, in the neighborhoods that they demarked, is gonna be for them. Because we don't deserve a grocery store over here on the north side right now. We don't deserve a decent park. You see, they cut O'Fallon Park all the way down, and I haven't heard anybody say anything about replanting the trees. And of course, that would be under the auspices of, how long it's gonna take for them to grow back. But if you look at it, it is, when I first got here, it was Africans there every day, every night of the week. In the summertime, even more. But if you look at it now, you can see straight through the whole park. And what that says to me is that if they decided to vamp on this neighborhood, they can mow down a whole bunch of people all at one time, and you can see straight through. I'm just saying that we have to fight. There are people here that homes are not gonna be rebuilt, still don't have any money, and I'm suggesting that people don't sell out. If they come to you and say, will you take this? Just say no, but what I will take is money for you to repair this. Uhuru. I'm sorry.
Let's go back to the tornado,
Mhm.
the unfortunate tornado.
Mhm.
If you remember some years ago, there were seed clouds that they put, seeds that they put in clouds to cause, tornadoes, storms. How fortunate for them
Mhm.
that this tornado that didn't get alerted to
Mhm.
nobody
Right.
covered most of the city where African people live.
Mhm.
The old part of the city that was basically on that map.
Mhm.
How fortunate was that, or
Mhm.
unfortunate for us,
Mhm.
that this serendipitous
Yeah.
tornado did the work that they were trying to get done,
Yeah.
made it easier. The way, we don't have to be helpless.
Right.
They want you to be, oh, we're going to do this. We don't need you to do that.
Yeah.
This is my house. This is my land.
Mhm.
Just leave me alone
Mhm.
and let me live.
Mhm.
We just want to be human,
Right.
raise our families,
Mhm.
work and pay their bills
Mhm.
and live. But that's too easy for colonialism.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Yeah.
So I am one of the leaderships in getting people involved. And we're going to do this door by door, block by block,
Right on.
store by store.
Right on. Church by church.
Yeah.
Okay. And nobody's gonna be weak because together we're strong.
Absolutely.
Okay. I may write a poem,
Mhm.
but the words in it is what I want people to listen to. And I said I'm a African born, no, I'm a stolen African, born on stolen indigenous land. And if you look at the DNA for the so-called, what's those things where you get your blood and find your family, you won't find any that say indigenous Indian. You won't find it because if you do, it will show that they owe you money for killing the indigenous people, and they owe them money. So they're not gonna say that's part of your lineage. Okay, let me stop. I'm good. We gotta win. That's it. No, we all gonna win. Uhuru.
We all ready. Oh, I want to be quick because, like I said, I think a lot of us we don't necessarily know the seriousness of NGA, like a comrade said. How many of us familiar with NASA?
Yeah.
NASA, you all familiar with NASA?
Mhm.
But are we familiar with that's a military branch?
Yeah.
That's military intelligence. Well, only because they budget is a little bit bigger. That's the only difference between them and NGA.
Mm.
You know, NGA handle the shit that NASA too busy to handle. But I know y'all remember, and just to show you, you know what I'm saying. Y'all remember Trump tally helping Israel bomb the Iran nuclear facilities? Where you know the B-2 bombers that completed that mission, quote unquote mission. They came out of white man's military base out of Missouri. Who are we there? They returned to the military base.
Yes, they did.
NGA guided them over there.
You heard them fly overhead at night.
But yeah, they call it NGA West. So we have a military slash intelligence agency
Yep.
in our community. Our
Yep.
community was slashed up. 5-6 generations worth of people, homes was snatched from them. We already lack liquid assets
Right.
for us handed down to our generation because of slavery.
Right.
We over 250 plus years behind them.
Mhm.
But now where a lot of us was allowed to hand down homes or business, what have you, against generational wealth, it was snatched for a military base.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can't forget that.
Yep.
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
For those of you,
Great, thank you.
just a little, Hello, my name is Maureen Wagner and I'm a member of the African People's Solidarity Committee. I work under the leadership of Deputy Chair Ona Zanae Shatella and the economic development work of the Black Power Blueprint and the African People's Education Defense Committee. I really want to salute this report by President Westbrook and the discussion that's happened. And just really salute the Black Power Blueprint and the statement that President Manuel made earlier about you never heard Obama say feed the house of people. But that is what the Black Power Blueprint is about, and white people can support it in so many different ways. Contribute to it, volunteer, buy the pies, come to the bakery, etc. And just speaking about the NGA and the bakery and this whole plan, earlier last year, leading into this year, there was a whole battle led under the leadership of Deputy Chair Zanae Shatella to open a bakery because it's too close to the MGA. And that's the truth about it, but they wouldn't say.
Right.
And another aspect of this planning that they're talking about, which there are 7 neighborhood districts. The one that was here was for these neighborhoods. And it's interesting that they called the ones around the MGA something different. They're like, there's 6 districts. Oh, and then there's Project Connect, which is what the neighborhoods around. So they're like trying to make it confusing even. And I really appreciate that they don't want the people involved, but they put up these meetings and these display boards and everything to say, well, see, the people were here.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't go. It starts in the day, you have to travel to get there. And there's another whole aspect of it, which is part of what they used against the bakery, which is, this is the sloop, right? What is it? The strategic land use plan. They're also changing the zoning. And they use the zoning to stop the bakery, and it's the same setup. And they said they had this democratic process where they it was anonymous choosing of the representatives who were gonna be in it.
Oh, yeah, right.
They vetted them all first, because people in APDF applied to be on that, and they didn't pick anybody. So I just wanna call on white people to support the struggle for economic development and self-determination of Black communities, support of InPDUM, support the Black Power Blueprint, and be a part of it. And we don't have to have a team for it, where white people can have everything they want, and the day after tornado, don't even know that it hit north of St. Louis. We gotta be connected.
One other thing that I think people should understand too, that, you know, they have all these plans, right? Have plans that don't benefit the African community.
Right.
But we also have to go back to the tornado too.
Yeah.
And even Team 4, because all the conditions that they left the African community in,
Yeah.
somebody needs to go to jail.
Yeah.
We got to make a plan there. The Black community houses was so being like that for so long. Owners that own these apartments that don't do any fixing or anything. Yes, slumlords. And then you have the tornado hit, and then 7 people right off the bat died from that.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to go to jail. We have to really be clear on that. The city has committed homicide so many times over, it's ridiculous. And we have to call the question. That's part of the fight back, is to call the question to all these officials. You let people die.
Genocide.
You know, and we have to really, you know, call that question clearly to the people.
I want to thank you all for this information as well. And I just want to see if we can clarify the actions that people are being called to make, like what is being called to do at this point? What can we do? Because I've heard it said a couple of times that these things are just going to happen. So is there anything that can be done to stop it, or it just happens and then we voice our concerns to say that it happened and we're not happy about it? Or what are we looking to do, or what are we calling people? What do we need people to do in order to either stop it, or after it happens moving forward? What are we looking for people to do in that vein?
Tell them what to do.
And you can come up here if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll-
No, listen.
Uhuru. Um, okay. Yeah, all right. Uhuru. Yeah, that's a good question. What, how we move forward, what do we need to do, and empower everyone to, carry out the work, so that, the NGA isn't successful, the city isn't successful in its continual forcible displacement of our people. But one, please, if we don't already, make sure that we have your contact. We'll be reaching out to you all in terms of outreach days, when you're available to do some outreach in the community. I think the 6 neighborhoods that were listed above, I see a future branch, because I'm coming from out east, where in the DMV, and we've gone into Southeast DC, and stuff like that. And these structures already exist, so this is what we see decades after the fact. And so we can't allow these things to happen. And conditions are there in DC are worse for the African community than they were prior to these, various installations and stuff like that going up. Inform your family, inform your neighbor, inform if you're in the school, if you're in the churches, if you have a Bible study group, tell them about what's going on, because one of the largest threats that's happening is the NGA. And so there's that. We are doing a lot of colonial negating work. This is the work of negating the power of our oppressors to continue to do what they have done to us. And that's what you see with the Black Power Blueprint, with the economic development institutions that we've been able to raise. Over 50 economic development institutions, the community gardens, this Aquaba Hall, the basketball court, the Uhuru Farm, the bakery cafe, working to overturn a food desert that exists here in the community. These are Black-led institutions that are being raised independent of the city, for our own interest, moving our own interest, because black people, African people, have to have our own agenda. What we see in Plan STO and what are the other ones? Connect STO or something like that. These are all NGA schemes. In fact, I'm convinced one of the groups is some kind of consultancy specifically for the NGA that's contracted. And so, these are under false pretenses. I attended one of the planning meetings, and coming into it, I didn't really know what it was about. And so they had questions like, and these are invasive questions, like, where do you not feel safe in the community? And they put these kinds of questions in so that they can move on these locations and win general support in the African community to push a campaign of attacking the African community. And so these locations and things like that are also locations where we'll do some outreach. And these different locations and groups are probably the areas that are most responsive to our outreach. And yeah, there's that. But the only way to overturn these contradictions, the people have to get organized. The state is organized. Yeah. It's highly organized. It couldn't. Comrade Westbrook had said that Obama nearly bombed over once a day, had killed multiple people a day, never gone to trial, never gone to jail, nothing like that. The city, quote unquote, leaders, Black leaders, never once say, feed, clothe, and house my people. You will never hear that. That will never be on their agenda. They're there to get paid. And even those with good intentions even those with good intentions, don't come in with their own strategic agenda based on their own worldview, on their own theory in terms of how an organization in terms of how to change things. They come in and they just fill in space for who used to be there and do nothing, sometimes do less, and get paid the same, if not even more. And so these are not our representatives. Our representatives are right in this room. And so your voices need to be heard. And not just, genuinely. And the only way to do that is us coming collectively, as a people. So please do join InPDUM, become a member, become a volunteer. We have many institutions, that you can volunteer for. We have outreach, consistent outreach that we do. The report that I gave earlier was just some of the things that I participate in, but we got comrades who are outside stores, passing out Sunday rally flyers, doing political education. We do political educations everywhere. Which is significantly important because people don't know what's going on and these things are happening. They're just saying, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, because these things have been happening for decades, so political education, organization, and a real fight for freedom. We say Uhuru because we believe that freedom must be on the minds 24 hours a day, and we have a plan to achieve it. And that's the theory of African nationalism. That's the success of the over 50 years, over 60 years of work that we've done. Anyways, there's more material in the back, but I would like to talk to each and every one of you. If come talk to us, we'll talk to you. There's a karamu, which means feast. We'll be eating and sitting together and organizing together. Anyways, Uhuru.
One thing we learned in Top Shelf with University African People's Organization outreach person. And I just like to tell you all that you need to go and pay attention to the city's website. They say every meeting that they're gonna have, if it's a budget committee, if it's a ways and means committee, and they giving away millions of your dollars every day, and nobody's down there to oppose anything. All this stuff that's happening is on there, and all they say is, we make it public. And they'll say, after the meeting is over, they'll say, if there's any objection, you got 3 people down there. It's always the same people come down there. Community One Projects and Jeff Lou, there's 6 different communities in that community. And so they organized that whole community and got them together. And so Community One is trying to say because they have issues about closing Dunbar School. Why would you close Dunbar School? It's right across the street from a high school. That's right down the street from Williams-Hurst, the college down the street. You can put 500 children in that school. They can walk across the street to Bashan and then walk down the street. They don't want to do it. All those people with those degrees on the school board is not on our side. So we need to get somebody. We went to Chicago, trying to make it short, to tour and see how they stopped all this takeover, gentrification, and the closing of their schools. They stopped 3 schools from being closed. They said 300,000 Black people had moved from Chicago and was pushed away when they tore down Cabrini Green, the project. They said, we're not gonna let these Negroes be on this riverfront property. And it's the same thing they're doing downtown right now. And so they stopped it, kept 3, now they only have 77. I think the name of the community is Bronzeville. 77 Black people live there now, but 300,000 Black people had to move to Iowa because they were pushed out because of the gentrification and the rising of the rent. Same thing happened in the Black community in Oakland, California, where the richest part of the community, which is San Francisco, only thing separated was the Golden Gate Bridge. And you got Oakland now in 20% of homelessness rate is going up because now these white folks want to move over here. Again, they say we're not gonna let these Negroes have this riverfront property. So the problem is that your alderman that controls Aldrich and Laura Keys, who controls all down there by SLU and all downtown and all like that, they're running everything. She only won, votes, she get 2,000. So what we need to do is get rid of all of them step profession Negroes.
That's right. That's right.
Downtown.
That's right.
And we need to stop
That's right.
over and over and over again. Get these people off the school board. We can't get 3,000 people. And they talking about Laura Keys won because she got the senior citizens absentee votes. That's how she won. But we gotta get people to run for office. And that's what they did in Chicago. They got the mayor on their side now. They got rid of that white boy. They got rid of him. And they got somebody that's running that for the children.
Right.
See, because the way you destroy the community, you have to destroy the educational system.
Yeah.
And that's what they're trying to do. So we need to get somebody to run, and you all need to start paying attention because we stopped at $800,000 that the city was gonna take our tax bill out for that Metrolink expansion. We stopped that.
Yeah.
We stopped. There was just a few of us going down there talking. Miss Alexander and Community One Projects and some other people. We was like, no, you're not gonna take our money. So what I'm saying is that you can stop it, but you gotta stay on top of it. You gotta be persistent.
Yeah.
And you gotta start going to STL, look at the meetings that they have and go down there and testify against it. And you gotta get somebody to run for office. That's what you have to do. You gotta get somebody to run for office and get these people off, because this is a reflection, not of white folks. This is a reflection of black aldermen and everything is a reflection. North City is a reflection of the failure leadership that's been in this city for the last 50, 100 years.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I like to unite with what the sister had just said, and also in addition to that, just say that all this is happening with the pretense of it being some kind of democracy or democratic process. But the fact is, there's never been democracy practice here in the United States. Certainly not here in St. Louis. Otherwise, the many school closures, the many black businesses that's been forced out, the many Africans that's been forced out of our homes and our neighborhoods and things like that. These weren't decisions made by us, and so as well as the continual police that patrols our communities and things like that, like some kind of shark in a pool of fish or something like that. These are predators, and so one of the things that's important is not just people running for office, but it is also important that they have an agenda made by African people in our own interest that expresses what our interests are, what our real interests are, as the African working class, as the African poor, and things like that. And so this is one of the significance of the RNDP program, the Revolutionary National Democratic Program, that we had studied 1 point of, but there are over 70 points that we can work around and things like that. And so, that's going to be real significant. What's also going to be real significant is getting out in these communities. And I'm not, particularly looking for, or we're not looking for, high degree, sort of folk, just regular African poor and working class folk. These are the makers and shapers of history. These are the forces that have to be brought back into political life. They once were in political life. There once was a movement some 60 years ago that had nearly broke America. The Black Revolution of the 1960s. The African working class, the African poor, just sharecroppers, just folks toiling in the factories, shoe shiners, step forward into history, demanding presence in the world stage as a free people. We say in the International People's Democratic Uhuru movement that self-determination is the highest expression of genuine democracy for the colonized.
Yeah.
Because what's being promoted and practiced here in the U.S. and around the world is a colonial democracy. It's a democracy because democracy takes the form of the state. you know, it's not just a thing where, okay, you know, everyone gets to practice and say, you know, they get saying things like that. Even in the great societies, Europeans promote and things like that, like Greek and other things where they say democracy came from. You know, 89% of the population there were enslaved. And so there's never been any genuine practice of democracy. And historically, you know, among the colonizer. But yeah, anyways, with that being said, we have to win our communities to our own programs. And we have to get out into these communities, hit all sectors of society, churches, schools, even the jailhouses, the prisons, all sectors of society where African people are. They have to be brought into this process. Without them, we cannot win. But with them, victory is certain. Uhuru.
All right, then, we want to appreciate all that good jazz there. A lot of good information, comrades. So we need to go ahead and move forward so we can go ahead and complete the program and finish for the day. And like comrades say, let's eat. So right now, we're going to go ahead and call for membership and resources. And we need to have Comrade Fofi come up. And with the remaining of the schedule, we want to be a little bit more expeditious if we can, please.
Not a finger, but a fist. Fist up. Fist up. Fist up. Uhuru. Okay. This has been a really amazing meeting. I feel so uplifted, like the book. But anyway, I know it. What I want to say is our goal today is $150. And if you have $150, then I can sit down and start Caramoo. But if you don't, show me how many 20s do we have for our. Can I get some matches?
Or I match.
Okay, online, you can go to Cash App. If you don't want to, you know, you can Cash App $ InPDUM, or you can go to InPDUM.org/donate for your donation. Now, what do we do with these donations? All the flyers you see in the back, all the light where we can see the internet, the warmth and the wintertime and the cold in the summertime. This information, these resources go back into the community. We're talking about doing outreach. We're going to do that, but we're doing flyers. They cost, getting flyers printed has a nice little cost that.
All them flyers back there on that table. I know y'all saw it.
Anyway, the resources go back into the community because we just word of mouth. People might listen and then they may not. But if you put something in their hand and have a conversation with them, that's how you get one-to-one contact. That's how you get people to come and be members in their own freedom. Every dollar you spend is a dollar towards liberation, because without it, we're still just walking and talking bodies with no action behind us. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm 4'11", and I can talk a lot, but without resources, this is just talk, energy going out in the air. But what we need is something to put in people's hands, put in some in their minds. We do internet sales. We do pies. If people didn't know about the pies, they wouldn't come. If people didn't know about our institutions, they wouldn't come. But they need to see things. We are a people that likes things in our face. If you want to do something, then you can say what you want, but when people pay attention to what you do. So with that being said, Here you go. All right. Our goal is $150 today. And we want to thank everybody who contributed to our liberation, because I can't be free if you're not free. And our brothers and sisters behind bars, they got to be free too. Because if one person is left behind, we got to grab them by the foot and pull them across the line. Okay. Like I said, you can go to any of these two institutions if you do not want, if you don't have cash. And online, we ain't forgot about you. Online, we want you to go to InPDUM.org/donate, and we want you to go to Cash App, InPDUM, InPDUM, InPDUM. Okay? And if we go over our goal, that's even better. But at least we want to make that goal. I'll come back later and tell you how much we collected. But next, I want to tell you about how you can be a part of the fight back. Everybody can be a part of the fight back. You become a member of the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. That was my start right here in St. Louis. Comrade Makeda and myself were part of the first International People Democratic Uhuru organization here on the ground. And that was 2014. You can become a member at a George Jackson level, George Jackson Desi Wood level, is $5 annually if you are behind, is that behind bars? Yeah. If you are incarcerated behind bars, you can become a member, or if you got somebody that's behind bars, then you can make them a member with $5 a year. Okay, so when they come out, they will be actually, and while they're in there, they can get the burning spear. And with the burning spear, they can do their own political education and spread the news about what's happening out here. This burning spirit was written by African people and published and printed, and it's news for us without any tainting.
1968.
Yes, and it's only $1, but that's another. Okay, you can become a member at the Musa Bantu level. It is a $10 annual membership for the students or the unemployed. That is $10. You can become a member and you can sit here. Your membership is just as important as any other member in the organization. The general membership is $25 a year. These levels are the beginning levels for everybody. But if you once you get on the website, you can see different levels if you want to donate to the organization. So go to InPDUM.org/today if you want to become a member right here, right now. Who's our membership thing? Sophia is the membership coordinator. So if you want to become a member today, you can see Comrade Sophia and she can make it happen online, okay, or by paper. We can make it happen. And membership is voluntary. If you got 2 hours a week, those 2 hours a week can be used to bring in other people. It can be used to make phone calls. It can be used to give somebody a leaflet to let them know how they can become a member of an organization that's fighting for freedom, for African freedom here in the United States and around the world. We're not just a local organization. We have comrades in South Africa, in England, in the islands. We are a international organization. So that means we want freedom for all our people, not just a handful, for all our people. With that being said, join the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. Okay? Uhuru.
Oh, thank you. Was there, I think there was a question, but not online. But anyway,
Was there a question?
it looked like there was something coming up from Conrad. But right now, it's about. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we probably can get back to that if we can, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, make it tight. We're a little bit late. So come on up with the announcements. After the announcements, we will be moving into camera move.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do with the announcements is we're gonna roll with our scheduled announcements, how we got them, and then we can come back to anybody else's announcement.
Right.
Uhuru, online we have Jamar Abigas, Uhuru Conrad Westbrook. I did have a question. Are the same financial interests that's have been buying and holding property on the south side funding this new urban renewal program? Yes, a lot of these key developers, but I don't want to minimize it to the south side. We know definitely here on the north side, a lot of them names is being protected because they know how we flame Parmesan ass, excuse my French. So a lot of names being protected, so the organization name has been put forth. But yeah, a lot of these front companies has been holding land. The unveil they plan parallel to the city of unveiling their plan, especially going on in the Ville. There's things that's going on in the Ville. We have to keep our eyes on that because we know that historically that's our neighborhood. And we know that, like our comrade said earlier, that this tornado is help expediting the grabs of the land from developers. So they've been doing a few different word home schemes and this, that, another, changing the outlook and making it more inviting. Inviting for who? Justification? No, not, but so we got to look at these things. But to answer your question, yes, a lot of these developers have been holding on to these properties for many years because they don't want to open up for you and I when they know that a lot of you and I's suffered from the tornado. They rather open it up when the NGA and these other organizations need the people. Uhuru.
Come on, we got announcements. Bring your announcement.
Right. All right, Uhuru, everybody. So, just to let you know, your order for your holiday pie, today is the last day to make that order. So make your order today so that you can pick it up at Uhuru Bakery Cafe, as it says, on Tuesday from 10 to 4 p.m., 3719 West Florissant, or John and West Florissant. Come to the Uhuru Bakery Cafe and you can pick up your pies, or if you haven't placed an order but you need a pie right away, come and get a pie. So that's going to be at the Uhuru Bakery Cafe. I just want to say some things right quick. At Soulard Market, we sold 93 pies. And then we also had another pop-up at Second Shift Brewing, and we sold 16 there. So far for the year, we sold a total of 754 pies. So, so I just want to say, this pie campaign is really, really crucial because it's been a Uhuru Foods and Pies for 44 years now for the holiday campaigns that have helped to support the various projects of the Black Power Blueprint.
All right.
So just wanted to say that. But again, we have a lot of volunteer opportunities still. If you want to come and help bake, help pour some pies, help staff a pop-up, let us know. You can talk to me. But that's what we got going on. And if you want to place an order online, go to uhurupies.org. And we also have a sale today at the table. We got 9-inch sweet potato pies, regularly they're $22, they're $15 now.
Okay.
And then we have the small 5-inch pies all of different flavors. So come and get it. It's usually $10. It's now $8 or 2 for 15. So, Uhuru.
All right, so moving forward with our announcements, what I'm sounding like Elmer Fudd, don't what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to go through these announcements. But what we're gonna have to insist upon people, especially if you're in the movement, you need to start sending your announcements in advance so that we can have them and we can do it through that way, because everybody is not going to be given announcements. There's a way that we do it, so we want to follow that way. If you're coming in, okay, different. But we got these already on the agenda. If your announcement isn't in for us when it's time to go, don't expect it to be read. Unfortunately, we're gonna be disciplined. So the next thing that's coming up with the announcement is that that's the APSP, stands for African People's Socialist Party. This is the plenary. This is going to be April 17th through the 19th, 2026. It's going to be right here in the city of St. Louis. It's hosted by the African People's Socialist Party. And the plenary is a time where you can come and learn a lot of great things about the party, institutions, constitutional matters, and the way forward. So we want to appreciate that. Next slide. And invite you. And there is a cost associated with that. So right now, you go back to the last slide, please. Sorry. So you can go to the apspplenary.org. You can go there and register. There are 3 different levels of registration. So you got time now to get your funds together, build it up, and even get those days off from your plantations if you need to. Remember, once again, that's apspplenary.org for more information. Now, go to your next slide, please. Thank you. So this one is the Burning Spirit newspaper. This month, December, is the 57th year that the paper has been in publication. There is a copy of it back there. So 57 years, this paper has been going strong. And as we mentioned before, it's actually the longest running institution within the party. It started even before the party, which started in 72. So we want to appreciate that. And it's been in work and in circulation ever since 1968. That's a long time. So we want to appreciate that. And that was done under the leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, none other. Uhuru. Next slide. All right, so then we have our studies that are the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement Studies. They are the studies of the Revolutionary National Democratic Program, RNDP. And they are every Thursday, 7 o'clock Central Time. Go to this link. You can register at that link. You can also catch it on Facebook. They are now being led by the international president, Comrade Luca Day. And so come on out to this virtually and every Thursday, unless otherwise not known. And if we don't have your email and you would like to attend those studies, let us know that you, and they'll sign the sheet as we talk with you. Let us know, hey, I want to come to these studies too. And we'll put your email inside of the mailer link or whatever we use and send it on out as a reminder. They are great opportunities for that. And so, next slide. And so, well, that is still going on. This is for AMO, the African National Women Organization, the People's Clothing Exchange. And you have an opportunity now to continue to donate. So what you can do with this is another example of self-determination in our hands, led by the African National Women's Organization. African women must lead and do lead. So 4 ways to receive coats. It's a coat drive, clothing drive. You know, you can bring your clothes to exchange for ours, or you can swap them out. There are vouchers. You can redeem your voucher for a bag of clothes. Bring your own bag and fill it up for $5. Cash App is accepted. Be a person in need. No swap, no voucher, no money necessary. So January 10th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that's going to be located at what we're calling the Liberation Center. It's going to be ran by the African National Women's Organization. And the address there for that is 4617 Natural Bridge. It's not too far from here. So all things we do in the neighborhood. Make that a point that you understand that. So for more information, contact 314-380-8014. Go to stl@annualuhuru.org and get information online that way.
Well, some of folks that don't know AMO, can you tell them the acronym?
African National Women's Organization. Uhuru. And of course, Annual once again, because African women must lead.
Right on.
Yes.
Right on.
African National Women's Organization, they have cadre development school. Now that's next year also, but you got time. So you see, we organize as a movement. We don't just do things out of the blue. You understand? Just say, oh, we're going to do this. You got to organize a plan. So February 28th through the 4th, there is cadre development. If you need more information, then you should check that out. You can go to annual.org. That's the acronym. There is a registration fee. What is that? $30 for members, fee for lifetime members. There are different costs associated with that. And under the leadership of none other than Conrad Yejide Oramila, who is the president of Annual. So go to that site and make sure that you find out more information. And okay, this shameless plug by 4 Feet again. So she got her book up, y'all. This is being seen in the big city of lights, and she got a copy with it. So she read some a piece out of there. So we're really proud of the Conrad though, because our Conrad has really worked, and she's been in the community on different levels and doing the artsy things that she needs to do. And this is part of her passion. So once again, Saturday, December 27th, that's at Legacy Event Space. That's 5249. There's a book signing. And it's from 12 noon to 2 p.m. And none other than the offer, you can see 4 Feet Fable uplifted from 5th, book signing and panel discussion. Uhuru. So hopefully come out and support her. Next, please. And of course, you can always participate in these rallies. These are just some of the traditional ways that we have participation for you. You can organize the food. We call it Karamu. Join the team. It's coordinated by Conrad Sophia. You can be on join AV. There's training opportunities for that coming up. If you're interested in knowing how to help connect these devices, we got that for you. We already talked about distributing flyers and posters. So outreach is a ongoing process. We have our Conrad who's going to be leading that, Conrad President Luca Day. And of course, we have security for security meetings. So we want everybody to feel secure and safe. And we have institutions and mechanisms that can make that happen. Uhuru. All right. And then what else announcement?
Say, what was that annual, what was the mantra for annual?
African women must lead, or women.
No, what was their mantra?
African women must lead.
Oh, yes, African women must lead.
Right on.
It's in that spirit that I'd like to invite a sister who is in fact the epitome of that mantra. Ms. Kendra Beard, she'll be joining us here from Mississippi. And she's gonna share with us, if you want to see what the African women leading is, join Annual on Natural Bridge.
Yeah.
And the spirit of that you will see in Sister Kendra.
All right.
Good evening. Hopefully I can lead up to that introduction. My name is Ambassador Kendra Phipps, and I stand before you on behalf of the Bridge Foundation. And over a year ago, we ended up meeting the mayor, and he's the youngest mayor in the Kuntar region in the Gambia. And he asked one question: can you help me provide sanitary napkins for my girls to keep them in school? And we said yes. And so what Bridge did, we made our first donation, was only 72 sanitary napkins. And I still tell this story because the movement and women in action. On today, we've donated over 15,800 sanitary napkins. We've supported 5 schools, over 816 girls. We're keeping them in school because we know if they miss 1/4 of their education, that is another generation in poverty. And so our goal is to provide sanitary napkins to the Kuntar region. There's 150,000 people that are represented on today. And along with that, I always share what Mayor Gerard said. He is the youngest mayor in the Kuntar region. And he says this: I never go alone. I represent over 150,000 people. In addition to that, we are having a book drive. And I have to give plug to the book drive, and that UAPO made a decision to partner with us. And our goal is to donate 7,000 books, and we're at 2,000 books. And it would be the first library that inside of the Kumtar region. And we're very excited about that. And that is technical books. We're very intentional. Technical books, Afrocentric books that we're donating. So when you see women that are in action, our goal is She Rise. And we are very intentional. We want to provide a sanitary napkins facility in the Kumtar region because I'm sure you've heard the horror stories of Johnson & Johnson and what's going on with sanitary napkins here in the United States and abroad. So we're very intentional keeping our girls in school. And you could go to the number 242challenge.org, the number 2. Goal is donate $2, share it with just 2 people, and our goal is $1 million. That's our goal because we will build She Rise. And thank you so very much.
How does Bridge connect with our women's organization, IMA? What do you suggest, particularly the building of the factory?
So here's what I would suggest for organization like that is for us, one, not only to partner, but if you want to donate sanitary napkins, if you want to sponsor a school, because you could sponsor a school. Bridge Foundation is sponsoring 5 schools, and we're increasing the capacity of 3 wells, and we're bringing purification system just for the wells. So if you want to partner with us to, let's say, sponsor a school, by all means, if you have, let's say, in-kind support that you want to bring, because we're going over it in April, we're certainly appreciative of all of the donations that we have. So in-kind or donations, either way, it will work for us. Uhuru.
You got an announcement, did you have an announcement? Wait a minute, did you have an announcement, Sophia?
She's got it. No, I'm sorry. When I was talking, I just wanted to give an example of money that you missed, that you overlooked. Because when I came down the street, I seen about 8 2-family flats that were empty. And in May, they had opened up this, I think they got like $2.5 million that was going to be given to, then they opened it up to the private private landowners, where they were giving you $10,000 to fix up your building if you rented it to people who were affected by the tornado. And so they opened it up to the private landowners in October, but now it's about to close December the 31st. So, if you had a building and it was ready to be rented out, and these not to homeless people, these are actually families who had children that needed a place to stay. You could have got $10,000 to close that deal and, fix up your home. So this is the kind of stuff that's going on downtown, that when you're not paying attention to where your tax dollars is going, it's going out. It's the city of St. Louis CDA announces tornado recovery vacant unit grant. So it closes on December the 31st, but maybe you can still get in it, because I do know a few people that took advantage of it at the last minute. So so just keep a watch on that city website and see where your money is going. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's it. Thank you very kindly. Want to appreciate everybody. We'll be here every Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. We are 4101 West Florissant, on the corner of West Florissant and Alice. We want to thank you for coming to the Uhuru Movement Sunday rally. And we now have Caramoo. We're out. Thank you.
Uhuru.
Uhuru.